G'day, this is Captainoob, and this is the MA5D assault rifle. This weapon is from the Halo series, and it's an assault rifle. You all know what that is. Right, we'll get into the attachments here. First of all, we've got this thing basically mirroring the assault rifle attachments. We'll go for a powerful auto receiver there. Unfortunately, only doing 102 damage, which is probably on the weak side, but it will persevere anyways. Most of these upgrades are just number upgrades. There's no cosmetics being added to the gun, so the vented barrel is what we'll go to, and that gives us a whopping 47,000 range. So yeah, I think we're covered for pretty much all of our ranged combat scenarios. And same for the stocks here, we'll just chuck on the recoil compensating to reduce some of that, even though there's not really a lot to start with. And we'll chuck in the quick eject mag for a little bit quicker reloads. Now, this is where it gets a little bit interesting. So, the default one is the rail cover, which you see in most games, but you can have a cog scope on that, which is kind of good, and a reflex sight too, so that'll help you out in VATS and have a little bit of a better aiming thing. But we'll leave that as a rail cover now, and we'll create a couple of others with those attachments, just so we can see them in action, and we'll chuck a compensator under there. I think that is good enough. You can get a little bit extra damage with the suppressor, but I want to leave this one in its default iconic state. And of course, a legendary effect is always there, and since this one does such little damage, we'll chuck on the wounding effect there to give us a little bit more of an edge when taking on our enemies. Alright, let's go into Gunner's Plaza and shoot people. Should be fun. Righto, so here we are in the plaza, and this is the MA5D in first person. Yeah, it looks pretty good, doesn't it? That little screen there doesn't actually move. I'd imagine that's something that Script Extender would have to cure, but for now, that's just staying how it is. It's got a good glow map though, so yeah, there's what it looks like in third person there, and yeah, this is a pretty big weapon, and granted it does look normal in the size of Spartans, and Spartans are a little bit taller than your average Institute Merc there, so it definitely looks a little bit on the sizey side, but you know what? I think that suits this weapon properly. Now, unfortunately, at 102 damage, we're going to have to shoot these people quite a lot before they drop, and I'd imagine if there was some sort of caliber conversion onto this, you could probably get a little bit more damage in terms of realism, but yeah, I'm not sure why these fire 5mm. We'll just get nice and close to this guy, execute some sneak attack criticals, and see what we can do. There we go, we killed one dude with sneak attack criticals, and of course we've got the wounding effect onto this, and that'll help us out killing these gunners with a little bit of damage over time. Now the rate of fire is pretty good, but the sounds of this thing are subpar, and why that is, whilst the sound's good, is that the way Fallout 4 weapons work in terms of sound and automatic, they've got these special files with little loop bits in them, and basically what the sound bits do is they go through the file as normal, but as soon as you take your finger off the trigger, it immediately pops to the last shot firing of it, so you've got the whole sort of echoing and bang after the bullet's actually gone. And if you listen closely to that, as soon as you stop firing, the sound just stops. Granted, there is a tiny little bit of reverb that is added onto this, but there's nothing more than that, so it makes it sound a little bit silly when you're firing with that. If you use a suppressor on this thing, you can actually just use the regular assault rifle sounds for that, and that cures it. But for now, this thing it's alright. We're going to move on to the suppressed one with, this is the advanced receiver, and it's got the little scope on it. Now the good thing about this suppressed one is that it actually fires as fast as you can pull the trigger. So if I just go up and spam the trigger there, we can actually get quite a good rate of fire out of this, maybe even faster than it is firing normally. So if you've got an extra fast trigger finger, then yeah, it's actually a pretty good idea to do that. Now this is the scope, and I was expecting a little bit of zoom, but basically just a reflex sight, but we can do better. This one is the this one's got the automatic one on it, and it's also got the suppressor. As you can tell there, the sound's working a little bit better now. It's also got the powerful effect, or mighty effect, for a little bit more power there, because yeah, we're certainly lacking in that respect. I'm not sure what the modder was balancing this for, but yeah, definitely not really viable and very hard at this point. But like I said before, maybe caliber conversions can fix this thing up. And let's go off Fallout 4 topic for a moment and talk about this thing back in the Halo games, because I played a lot of Halo 1 back in the day. I had a little school netbook and played it on that, and it actually worked pretty well. But yeah, I remember this thing firing super duper fast, and it had like a 60 round box mag, and it was fucking huge. But yeah, For some reason, they changed that in the later games for some reason. I don't remember even seeing one of these things in Halo 2, so I don't know what's going on there. But yeah, I definitely like this thing a little bit better if it had that big old 60-round mag and firing the 7.62s as fast as it did. I reckon that'd make it a little bit more fun, but maybe that's just a retcon for balance purposes. I'm not sure what's the whole thought process behind that. But in terms of this Fallout 4 mod, whilst this does underperform, the animations are solid thanks to War Daddy. The textures and meshes are definitely solid, and the sounds, whilst they could be better, are definitely sounding good. It sounds genuine to what it is, at least from what I remember when watching those Halo Reach machinemas. Thanks, RB and the Chief. Alright, so you know what, I'm impressed with this weapon despite it being lacking in performance, so we'll go ahead and test this somewhere else. Probably not in Super Mutants because those bastards are tanky. Okay, so something new now. Here we are at Natick, I think that's how you pronounce it, and we've got the Furious effect on this thing. Now, this place is full of Deathclaws and a little bit of Super Mutants here and there. It appears to be a Super Mutant camp of some description. That's just a basic Deathclaw, and not even the game's going to give us the satisfaction of combat music. So he's just going to place us down nicely there. We've lost barely any HP from that, which, yeah, being slammed on the ground by a giant lizard, care what level that giant lizard is, that's going to hurt, especially if it's on concrete like that. Yeah, you wouldn't be getting up so easily from that. We just heal that off right away. But yes, as you go up in this westerly direction, you can experience more Deathclaws, and we've drawn yet another basic Deathclaw here. With the Furious MA5D, we can make short work of him. So you know what, maybe even the basic Deathclaw is a little bit more balanced for this thing in its current state. Now, I believe there's one usually around in this direction somewhere. Yep, there's a couple of numbers up there. Ah, yes, he's taking on some Rust Devils, so it looks like we've got a random encounter to blast through. So you know what, we'll do that. That is a Sentry Bot Butcher, and he's a big boy. We'll get rid of him just now. And we've used that explosion to take out his mate there, which is good. So yep, in the first person, the animations aren't quite as flashy there. There's another Sentry Bot explosion, and just another basic Deathclaw there. We can kill him very easily indeed. Yeah, I don't know, Deathclaws in this game, I've been fighting a lot of Deathclaws whilst playing the new Vegas videos, and whilst they look a lot better and behave in more like an animal way, definitely more interesting to watch them run around and do stuff. It's a little bit underwhelming when these guys really don't hit you hard enough for you to really care about them. So back on the whole tanky blah blah blah, enemies in this game fucking suck. Yeah, basically you get as tanky as the enemies towards the late game, and it completely eliminates the threat of anything. So that's probably why that all sort of maybe people don't like playing this game post endgame. Anyways, so yeah, this is the whole sort of crux of this area here. Basically you just get a behemoth spawn there, and there's a bunch of Deathclaws fighting him, which is actually kind of cool thing to watch. We'll just ignore that mini swan over there for now. He's a friggin' joke. He can't hit us for shit there. And oh wow, okay, have we cleaned them all up already? I believe we have. Well, I guess that mini Gerald over here is going to die very painful, horrible death. And would you believe being hit by that massive fire hydrant bat only did that much to my damage, which I can heal off using the various auto repair perks. I was about to say that, but healing perks in just a few seconds. So yeah, as much as the game becomes tanky, yeah, you become quite tanky as well. So you know what? In the spirit of taking on tanky creatures and baby swans, let's go and take on the real swan, because we haven't seen him before, have we? Okay, so there's Swan over there. We've got our covert thing here, which is a legendary effect of mine, which gives us a little bit more sneak attack damage. That would be the one with the covert effect. And with that, we get 6.4 times sneak attack damage, which is pretty grand there. We can pretty much kill him very quickly there. So yeah, basically with most weapons, sneak attacking him to death is probably a good way to get him killed. And now we're in a little bit more trouble because this guy can actually do damage to us. So we've switched back to our Furious one here. He's also got a bunch of friends with him, so that's kind of interesting. There's usually a ghoul sitting here. He's only a basic one today, but we'll just keep on shooting Swan there, stacking ever so slightly more Furious damage on him every shot, which is good. He looks like he's just about dead. We're at half health, so we could probably tank one more shot from him. That rock seemingly did no damage, but yep, Swan has died there thanks to the Furious effect there. Now I could actually go and not be lazy and actually get into the creation kit and sort of fix this kind of stuff myself. This is the two-shot effects, by the way, and yep, there are lots of recoil there, and I think I just killed the settler that I was trying to save, so good on me for doing that. And yeah, pretty good weapon if you've got the right legendary effects on it. But where was I? Yes, yeah, I was going to go into the creation kit and just give it a little bit of a buff, but you know what, I've been using that thing all day to get a certain character's companion mod all up to scratch there, so you know what, I think I'll just leave that alone. So yeah, here we are with the crappy damage, but with all of these legendary effects we've certainly lifted it up to be quite a powerful weapon. We'll go on and kill one more thing. Okay, you join me in the most finest of weather settings the Commonwealth has to offer, and it is time to kill this giant ass lobster again. So we'll just get stuck straight into him, just find out where he is. Okay, he's there. We'll just go in a third person there and fire bullets as fast as we can, and to no avail there. Maybe we need to, there we go, now we're hitting him harder, and just got to keep on hitting him for as much as we can, and we've got him about half health with all of those glorious bolstered sneak attack criticals there. So there's the covert effect doing good work there. We'll switch over, you know what, we'll switch to the two-shot one for a second, and yeah, it's not really cutting it, is it? We'll switch back over to our little Furious one, and you know what, we'll use this thing in VAT. So not the most VAT efficient weapon, but you know what, it's a two-handed rifle, and Fallout 4 is way too generous with those things anyway, so you know what, that is a fine VAT action point usage for this thing. We'll go ahead and reload the assault rifle way because the third person animations haven't quite made it yet, but yeah, it's definitely a nice way of getting a quicker reload. We'll just jump by that crab there and reset our Furious stacks there, unfortunately, but we'll get back to it right now, and we might as well start them stacking a little bit quicker. Hang on, we'll just get rid of you first apparently, and now we'll just target your glorious face and open up a few holes in it. There we go, finally got a hit there, 77. Not seeing that stack in VATs, that's interesting. Wonder if they don't stack in VATs properly because it's different shots, I don't know. But now that we're not in VATs, we're definitely stacking them a little bit faster, so with a little bit of hipfire goodness and good strafe speed when you're aiming down sights, because according to Battlefield logic, having the mag behind the trigger makes you strafe faster when you aim down sights. It feels a little bit faster anyway, maybe when you're sneaking, but yeah, this thing has pretty good hipfire, and you know what, with the right legendary effects you can actually make this thing useful. Obviously if you're not playing on very hard like I am, and ooh, it's got a flashlight on the front too, I forgot to show that off, so there you go, it's a pretty good flashlight, it's like a power armor flashlight, very good. So you know what, whilst the damage is a little bit lackluster, you've got the option of putting legendary effects on to fix that. So you know what, it's a pass in damage, I'll give it a pass. So everything about this mod is brilliant. Unfortunately, it is only available for PC, but if you're on Xbox, you can use these things in the Halo games already, so I think that's fine. Also, when you have a weapon with a flashlight equipped and you put it away and activate your flashlight, it's a little bit strange, but now I've got a giant ass spotlight coming from seemingly nowhere. So links will be in the description if you feel like it, links to the legendary effects as well, and I'll get Phoebe finished soon and as a companion mod for all platforms. Thank you for watching.